Welcome to day 7 of Spookoween. So today we're playing Doki Literature Club. Now this is a bit of an older game, but it's actually a really fun one if you haven't played it before, and yeah, let's just get right into it. Please enter your name. Sure. Closest you guys are getting to my actual name for a while. Unless you stalk me. Hey! I see an annoying girl running towards me from the distance, waving her arms in the air, like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. The girl is Sayori, my neighbour, and a good friend since we were children. You know, the kind of friend you'd never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you know each other for so long. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting up. But if she's going to chase after me like this, I almost feel better off running away. However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let Sayori catch up to me. Hey, haha. I overslept again. But I caught you this time. Maybe, but only because I decided to stop and wait for you. You say that like you were thinking of ignoring me. That's mean. Well, if people stare at you for acting weird, then I don't want them to think we're a couple or something. Fine. But you did wait for me after all. I guess you don't have it in you to be mean, even if you want to. Whatever you say, Sayori. Aha! We cross the street together and make our way to school. As we draw near, the streets become increasingly speckled with other students making their daily commute. By the way, have you decided to join a club yet? A club? I told you already, I'm not interested in joining any clubs. I haven't been looking either. That's not true. You told me you would join a club this year. Did I? I'm sure it's possible I did in one of our many conversations, which I dismissively go along with whatever she's going on about. Sayori likes a little too much about me, when I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. Imagine that. I was talking about how I'm worried that you won't learn how to socialize or have any skills before college. Your happiness is really important to me, you know? And I know you're happy, but I'd die at the thought of you becoming a NEET in a few years because you're not used to the real world. You trust me, right? Don't make me keep worrying about you. Alright. I'll look at a few clubs if it makes you happy. No promises though. Will you at least promise me you'll try a little? Yeah, I guess I'll promise you that. Yay! Why do I let myself get lectured by such a carefree girl? More than that, I'm surprised I even let myself relent to her. I guess seeing her worry about so much about me makes me want to ease her mind at least a little bit, even if she does exaggerate everything inside her head. The school day is ordinary as ever. It's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. Sayori wants me to check out some clubs. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Hello? Sayori? Sayori must have come into the classroom while I was spacing out. I look around and realize I'm the only one left in the classroom. I thought I'd catch you coming out of the classroom, but I saw you just sitting here and spacing out, so I came in. Honestly, you're even worse than me sometimes. I'm impressed. You don't need to wait up for me if it's going to make you late for your own club. Well, I thought you might need some encouragement, so I thought, you know. Know what? Well, that you could come to my club. Self-promo, MLM, POV. Sayori, yeah? There is no way I'm going to your club. Meanie. Sayori is vice president of the literature club. Not that I was ever aware she had any interest in literature. In fact, I'm 99% sure she only did it because she thought it would be a fun help to start a new club. Since she was the first one to show interest after the one who proposed the club, she inherited the title of vice president. I can totally read. Dyslexia isn't a problem. That said, my interest in literature is guaranteed to be even less. Yeah, I'm going to the anime club. Come on, please. Why do you care so much anyway? Well, I kind of told the club yesterday I would bring a new member, and Natsuki made cupcakes and everything. Hehe. Don't make promises you can't keep. I can't tell if Sayori is really that much of an airhead or if she's so cunning as to have planned all this out. I let out a long sigh. Fine, I'll stop by for a cupcake, okay? Yay, let's go. Damn, she had this planned and everything. That is actually very smart. A little bit shady, but very smart. And thus, today marks the day I sold myself for a cupcake. I dejectedly follow Sayori across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit, being generally used for third-year classes and activities. Sayori, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. Everyone, there's a new member. The new member is here. I told you, don't call me a new member. Ugh, I glance around the room. Welcome to the Literature Club. It's a pleasure to meet you. Sayori always says nice things about you. Seriously? You brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. What a nice surprise. Welcome to the club. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. A professional simple art? What are you looking at? If you want to say something, say it. Sorry. Natsuki. The girl with a sour attitude whose name is apparently Natsuki is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes me think she's probably a first year. She is also the one who made the cupcakes according to Sayori. You can just ignore her when she gets moody, Sayori says quietly into my ear, then turns back towards the other girls. Anyway, this is Natsuki, always full of energy. And this is Yuri, the smartest in the club. Ayo, what's up? Don't say things like that. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with people like Sayori and Natsuki. Well, it's nice to meet both of you. And it sounds like you already know Monika, is that right? That's right. It's great to see you again. Monika smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talked, but we're in the same class last year. Monika was probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, athletic. Basically completely out of my league. So having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little... You too, Monika. Come sit down. We made room for you at the table, so you can sit next to me or Monika. I'll get the cupcakes. Hey, I made them. I'll get them. Sorry, I got a little too excited. Then how about we make some tea as well? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table, and as Sayori mentioned, it had been widened so that there was one space next to Monika and one space next to Sayori. Natsuki and Yuri walk over to the corner of the room where Natsuki grabs a wrap tray and Yuri opens the closet. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Sayori. Natsuki proudly marches back to the table, tray in hand. Okay, are you ready? Ta-da! Oh! Natsuki lifts the foil to reveal off the tray to reveal a dozen white fluffy cupcakes decorated to look like little cats. That is adorable. The whiskers are drawn with icing and little pieces of chocolate we used to make ears. So cute! I had no idea you were good at baking, Natsuki. Well, you know. Just hurry and take one. Sayori grabs the one first, then Monika, I follow. It's delicious. Sayori talks with her mouth still full, already managing to get icing on her face. I turn the cupcake around in my fingers, looking at the best angle to take a bite. Natsuki is quiet. I can't help but noticing her sneaking glances in my direction. Is she waiting for me to take a bite? I finally bite down. The icing is sweet and full of flavour. I wonder if she made it herself. This is really good. Thank you, Natsuki. Why are you thanking me? It's not like I... Haven't I heard this somewhere before? Classic tsundere ass energy, bro. Made them for you or anything? I thought you technically did. Sayori said, well, maybe. But not for you, you dummy. Alright. I give up on Natsuki's weird logic and dismiss the conversation. Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot next to the cupcake tray. You keep a whole tea set in the classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess. Haha. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri is just trying to impress you. I'm not. Insulted, Yuri looks away. I meant that, I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not have be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. The dyslexia is absolutely ruining my life. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. Monica raises an eyebrow and smiles at me. So, what made you consider the literature club? I was afraid of this question. Something tells me I shouldn't tell Monica that I was practically dragged here by Sayuri. Well, I haven't joined any clubs yet, and Sayuri seemed really happy here, so that's okay, don't be embarrassed. We'll make sure to make you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. Monica, I'm surprised. How come you decided to start your own club? You could probably be a board member for any of the major clubs. Weren't you the leader of the debate club last year? Haha, well, to be honest, I can't stand all the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. And if it encourages others to get into literature, then I'm fulfilling that dream. Monica's right. Monica really is a great club leader. I need to stop playing text-based games. I'm way too dyslexic for this shit. Yuri also nods in agreement. Then I'm surprised there aren't more people in this club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new, especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile, but it makes cool events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, everyone? Damn, the positive energy. 10-10. Yeah, we'll do our best. You know it. Love the energy, honestly. Everyone enthusiastically agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked really hard just to find these three. Maybe that's why they were also delighted by the idea of a new member joining. Though I still don't really know if I can keep up with their level of enthusiasm about literature. So, what kind of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga? I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favourite are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me, and telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on clearly passionate about her reading. I wish I could read. Struggling, bro. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes lit up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination and completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately, of course you have. I read a horror book once. I desperately grasped to something I can relate to on a minimum level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. Really? I wouldn't have expected that from you, Yuri. For someone as gentle as you, I guess you could say that. But if a story makes me think or take me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is usually very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. Ugh, I hate horror. Why is that? Well, Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. Never mind. That's right, you usually write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind at the last club meeting. I looked at it and you were working on a poem called Don't Say It Out Loud. And give that back. Fine, fine. Your cupcakes, your poems. Everything you do is just as cute as you are. Damn, Sayuri trying to get in there. Good for her. Sayuri slides up behind Natsuki and puts her hands on her shoulders. I'm not cute. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No. Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. I'm not a very confident writer yet. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have any experience writing to Yuri? Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example, help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. I guess it's the same for Yuri. I wanted to read everyone's poems. We all sit in silence for a moment. Okay. I have an idea, everyone. Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monika. Let's all go home and write poems of our own. Then next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way everyone is even. Yay, let's do it. Plus, now that we have a new member, I think it'll help us all get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club. Bruh, isn't that right? Monika smiles warmly at me once again. Hold on, there's one problem. What's that? Now that we're back to the original topic of me joining the club, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join the club. Sayuri may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and I lose my train of thought. All four girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. Oh, but I'm sorry, I thought... Jazz. You all... I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? That is if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls. My guy is a professional fucking simp. Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. Worst decision you ever made. One by one, the girls' eyes will light up. Yay! I'm so happy! Sayuri wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. Hey! You really did scare me for a moment. If you really just came for a cupcake, I would be super pissed. Then that makes it official. Welcome to the literature club. Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think that we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone, remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so that we can all share. Monika looks over at me once more. I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Bro, it's just gotta be a full emo song, just full on. 'Cause tonight will be the night that I will fall for you. Arse energy, that's all I'm gonna write. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monika with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri and Natsuki clean up their food. Hey, Jazz, we're already here. Do you want to walk home together? That's right, Sayuri and I never walk home together anymore because she always stayed after school for clubs. Sure, might as well. Yay! With that, the two of us depart the club room and make our way home. The whole way home, my mind wanders back and forth between the four girls. Sayuri, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course Monika. Just Monika. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright, I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. It's time to write a poem. Pick words you think your favourite club member will like. Something good might happen with whoever likes your poem the most. Alright. Alright, we said emo, so tragedy. Sure. We can do this. Extreme. AO. Kinda sus. Yeah, it has to be fireflies. If you know, you know. Graveyard. Oh, I'm having some issues with my stream connection. That's really odd. Fantasy. Jump scare. That's how I'm taking that personally. That is 100% what that means to me personally. Why is my internet playing up? Alright, Misfortune. Let's be real emo about this. Vertigo. Sure, headphones. A little bit emo. But very emo. We're trying to make this as emo as possible. We do what we have to do. What next? We're doing emo doki literature club. Tears. Natsuki is very upset as normal. Horror. Disorientated. Crimson. Very emo right now. Disaster or... sure. This is the most fucked ass poem ever. Tenacious works. Just makes me think of Tenacious D though. Ooh, Misery. Very emo. Broken or dark. Dark. Very emo indeed. My Wi-Fi is still saying it's bad. Hi again. Glad to see you didn't run away from us, haha. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least kept my word. I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last one to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Thanks for keeping your promise. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst to literature when you're not accustomed to it. Oh, come on. Like he deserves any slack. Sayuri told me you didn't even want to join any clubs this year. At least, and last year too. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps a manga collection in the classroom. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Manga is literature. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. Don't worry, guys. Jazz always gives it his best as long as he's having fun. He helps me with busy work without me even asking, like cooking, cleaning my room. How dependable. Sayuri, that's because your room is so messy it's distracting. Imagine that. Could never be me. I keep everything perfectly clean. And you almost set your house on fire once. Is that so? You two are really good friends, aren't you? I might be a little jealous. How come you and Jazz can become good friends too? Sayuri. As usual, Sayuri seems oblivious to the weird situation she's put me into. Oh, Yuri, even though Yuri even brought you something today, you know? Wait, Sayuri. Me? Not really. Don't be shy. It's really nothing. What is it? Never mind. Sayuri made it sound like a big deal when it's really not. What do I do? I'm sorry, Yuri. I wasn't thinking. I guess that means it's up to me to rescue the situation. Hey, don't worry about it. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place. So any nice gesture from you is a pleasant surprise. It'll make me happy no matter what. Is that so? Yeah, I won't make it a big deal if you don't want it to be. Alright. Well, here. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. Wife material. And we could, discuss it if you wanted. This is... How is this girl accidentally being so cute? Oh, that's so cringe. She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you, I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expect Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Sayuri and Monica are having a cheery conversation in the corner. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a bit more, but at the same time I'd feel bad distracting her from her reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, and our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry. I was just spacing out. I muttered as sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place, but I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's the book you gave me, right? I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Just curious, how come you have 2 copies of the same book? Well, when I stopped at a bookstore yesterday... that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them. I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What is it about anyway? Well... Yuri closes the book and scans her eyes over the back. The book is titled Portrait of Makov. That's an ominous looking eye symbol on the front cover. Alright, I just wanted to make sure I don't accidentally give anything away. Basically, it's about the girl in the high school who moves in with her long-lost younger sister. But as soon as she does, her life gets really strange. She gets targeted by these people who escaped from a human experiment prison. Ooh, interesting. And while her life is in danger, she needs to desperately choose who to trust. No matter what she does, she ends up destroying most of her relationships, and her life starts to fall apart. No matter what she does, she ends up destroying most of her relationships, and her life starts to fall apart. That's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark came from nowhere. That dark term came from nowhere. Yuri gently giggles all of a sudden. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just those kinds of... those kinds of stories, they challenge you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, just because they have their own goals and their own philosophy that they can believe in. Then suddenly when you thought you related to the protagonist, they're made out to be the naive one for letting their one-sided morals interfere with the villain's plans. I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem when I let things like books or writing fill my thoughts. I kind of forget to pay attention to other people, so I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange, and please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. Uh, that's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? You don't have to. What are you saying? Just a moment ago you said you were looking forward to it. Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had put in my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is reading in the company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick break. I will be right back in like 2 seconds, guys. Why can I never find my break icon? Alright, so we are back from our break. Let's do this. Oh, should we save? Cool. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing, maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry, I was just... Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do. I don't really mean to, sorry. I mean... Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk along until it's up against Yuri's, then hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her copy. Once we each lean a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right arm to hold the book open. I guess this makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Yeah. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. Honestly, this just sounds like hell. It's cute and all, but this just sounds like a living hell. But I'm holding it like this. We're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? Turn the page. Sorry. I think I got a little bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face until our eyes meet. I don't know I'll ever be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a little longer. It's probably the least I can do since you've been so patient with me. Yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me so I can turn it by my own volition. Hey, we got there in the end. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side, and as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey, Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. You think so? How does she? Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways, but she also second guesses all of the things that she says and does. Like, she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like I can see into your head or anything, but they're kind of reminiscent of some of your own mannerisms. I see. Yuri remains silent for a second, but that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her. That's so embarrassing that you think that. Wait. I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. Sorry, I really didn't know you were self-conscious about that sort of thing. I guess I more meant that it's kind of cute. Why are you saying all of a sudden? Okay, everyone. I think it's about time that we share today's poems with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long. Yuri exhales, spared from finishing her thought. Is that alright, Yuri? You look kinda down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. It's fine. Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of her thumb. Alright. I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer if I only read it with you? I guess I don't have too much of a preference either way. In that case, I'll read a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know? That's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own time. Alright. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book and then slip it back into my bag. By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night? Yeah. My relaxation ends. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. I couldn't really find much inspiration since I've never done this before. Well, now that everyone's ready, why don't you find someone to share with? I can't wait. Sayuri and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. Sayuri is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a composition notebook. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their own bags. I do the same myself. Who should I show my poem to first? Well, we've been hanging out the most. No other reason. But also, like, best friend. Bros before hoes. But also, no other reason, but we've been hanging out, so... Yuri seems the most experienced, so I should start with her. I can trust her opinion, I felt. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. What was that? Did I say it out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. He's going to hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Haha. Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imaginary and metaphorical indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really? Yuri stares at me blankly, but then looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. Yuri traces her finger along the words of the poem, as if breaking it down more thoughtfully. Hey, how are you? Okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matters that they form fit the two together. I cannot read for shit. Once Yuri finishes her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice, learning by example, and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased, though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing for herself to me or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily as if that's a rare opportunity for her, which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Ghost under the light. Bro. Why can I not read? Of hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing in... It must be this one, the last bro. I cannot read. What is... The dyslexia really coming in today? I'm so sorry. I must have terrible handwriting. A little bit, yeah. Kind of offended. What? I wasn't thinking that. Oh, liar. But it took you a long time to read. Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty fucking liar. That's a relief. Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it's really descriptive. It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Huh? Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember that poems often express their own thoughts, feelings, and expression in their work. They usually do more to tell a simple story or paint a They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. I would not be cut out to be a voice actor in any way. Like, it is a life dream of mine, but I could not cope. In this case, perhaps, the subject of the poem is only symbolical compared to a ghost. Lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past. And soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. It's nothing really. Yours was impressive too, so... Nah, if anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? Yeah, of course. You know, I was really nervous about doing all of this. But in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you. Me too. Well, that was awkward, but that's fine, wife material. Should we go over to Sayuri? Because Natsuki, I know she's a tsundere and all, it's all cute, but she's kind of a cunt, so... Sayuri. This is a good poem. Are you sure it's your first time? Of course. It's not that good. Am I the kind of guy who would be writing poems in his spare time? I guess you're right. But that's why it impressed me. Well, I'll be honest. I was afraid you wouldn't do it seriously, or that you wouldn't write one at all. I'm really happy that you wrote one. It just reminds me of how you're really a part of the literature club now. Not to mention the fact I'm standing in front of you in the classroom. Well, of course, I'm not really into it yet, but that doesn't mean I'll break my promise. See? It's like I said before, deep down you're not selfish at all, you know? Trying new things like this for other people. That's something that only really good people do. Thanks, Sayuri. I'm not sure if Sayuri sees the full picture of my motive here. Then again, I can't deny that she's part of the reason I joined. Knowing how much this means to her and all, yeah. And I'm gonna make sure that you have lots of fun here, okay? That'll be my way of thanking you. Alright, I'm going to hold you to that then. Yay! Now you'll read my poem too, right? Don't worry, I'm really bad at this. Haha, we'll see about that. The way you glow through my blinds in the morning, it makes me feel like you missed me. Kissing my forehead to help me out of bed. Making me rub my sleepy eyes, rub the sleepy from my eyes. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you trusting me to wish away a rainy day? I look above, the sky is blue. It's a secret, but I trust you. If it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever, but I'm not mad. I want breakfast. Honestly, like, Manic Pixie Dream Girl, boss. Can't lie. Sayuri, this is just a guess, but did you wait until the morning to write this? No, just a little bit. You can't answer just a little bit to a yes or no question. I forgot to do it last night. Well, at least that makes me feel a bit better about myself. Don't be mean. I still tried my best. Yeah. I didn't mean to say that it was a bad poem. It came out nice, or how should I put it? It sounds just like you. Really? Yeah. Especially the last line. I made eggs and toast. Good for you, girl. Even though you were late to school. It's bad to skip breakfast. I get all cranky. Well, I guess there's no point in arguing. Anyways, thanks for showing me. Haha. This was so much fun. Monica is the best. Yeah, but next time I won't forget. and I'm gonna write the best poem ever. Well, I guess I look forward to it. Who should I show my poem to next? Monica. We still don't. Natsuki's still an arsehole. Hi. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good. Glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things, we can do better. I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know, but it's that sort of barrier that we will all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. Good job. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. That's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to just go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. Minimal effort boss, honestly. That way it always counts when I put some effort in. Haha, that's fair. Well, I guess it worked anyways. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imaginary and symbolism. Unlike Sayuri, who likes using simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness, Yuri likes it when readers are left to derive their own meaning out of it. It's very challenging to write like that effectively. Both allowing people to get something out of it and just by feel, or letting them deeply analyse all of the nuances. It can take years of practice, which I'm assuming Yuri has at this point. I never really asked though. I'm sure I'm nowhere near there yet. Don't worry so much about that. You do your own thing. Just keep exploring and learn by trying new things. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I'm comfortable doing this. That's okay. I'd love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might be a little bit biased towards their own kinds of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way that everyone else wants you to write. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. Imagine that. Haha. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know, honestly based advice. Well, let's read it then. Hole in wall. It couldn't have been me. See, the direction the sparkle protrudes, a noisy neighbour, an angry boyfriend. I'll never know, I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel blind like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retina's already scorched with the permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep, stretching forever into everything. A hole of infinite choices. I realized that now that I wasn't looking in, I was looking out. And he on the other side was looking in. Edgy. So what do you think? It's very freeform. Is that what you call it? Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, the kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say I had some kind of empathy recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Hey, we finally got her in the end. Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try too hard to make it perfect, you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. Just move your hand and go with the flow. Very nice, honestly. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Ugh, honestly. If you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home. What? Harsh. What do you expect me to believe? That you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put an effort. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of your first poem, if you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about? Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again. Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess. Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you'll probably think it's stupid. Eagles can fly, monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek, cheetahs can run, eagles can fly, people can try, but that's not it. Ha! That's edgier than what I wrote. Yeah, I told you weren't gonna like it. I like it. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't take my writing seriously. But isn't that the point of poems, for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Yeah, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard, like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling of the last line. So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, I guess not. You decided to humour her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling... Yeah, I skipped that way too early. Alright, so I think we're going to call that here for our first day of Doki Doki Literature Club. I'm double saving because I'm paranoid. Alright, so we will play again tomorrow. And then I think we're also starting the first FNAF game tonight, so that will be awesome. And yeah, it's been super fun vibing. I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Bye.